Hey guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode of the Minecraft Showcase series. And in today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at a mod called, I'm not sure if it's Ztones or Ztones, but either way, it's by riciJak. There's, of course, a link in the video description to the CurseForge and Minecraft forum page. Basically, what this mod does is it adds some interesting items to Minecraft, and it also adds a whole bunch of decorative blocks. In fact, this whole structure that we're in right now was built entirely with I'm calling it Ztones, it's easier to say, with Ztones blocks. So, let's get started because we have a lot to cover. So first and foremost, we're going to look at these tiles, and these tiles are going to be used for crafting all sorts of different blocks. They're not too hard to make. A couple of stone slabs and some stone, and that will give you 8 of these tiles. And that's pretty much it for the tiles. We also have a device here called the Phoenix, and basically you craft it using some various resources: an ender pearl, lava bucket, water bucket, diamond, 4 iron ingots, and then a crafting table in the middle. Now what's cool about this is you can right-click to place cobblestone. You can also remove cobblestone with it as well. But then the other cool thing is if you shift-click while in the air, it will open up a crafting table for you. So it's kind of like a portable crafting table and an infinite source of cobblestone. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got some various items. Now, there's the boost, and this is made using 2 blocks of redstone, which will give you 9 of these tiles. And basically, you can see it increases your movement speed when you're running across it, and then the buff lasts a little bit after that. Next, we have the Msg Pill, made with slime, rotten flesh, and sugar, and that will basically decrease your hunger, as in it will make you more hungry. Next, we have mini coal and mini charcoal, and basically, what you can do with these is each one of these mini coals will smelt only 1 item. So, for example, if you have a stack of 6 raw beef and you don't want to waste some of that lovely mini coal, you can just put in 6 of those, and that way there's no overflow, because 1 piece of coal obviously cooks 8 things. So it lets you be a little bit more efficient with your resources. Next, we have tools. Now, these can only be found in chests, in dungeons, villages, etc. And the first one, the first one is the Train Eater. It's basically a pick, but when you right-click, it will place a torch, which is really kind of interesting. We also have, right after that, the Totem Tool. And what's cool about this, if you right-click an ore, it will change it into a block. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have the Diamond Zane, and this is basically a 3-in-1 pick, axe, and shovel. So, you know what? Let me switch to survival mode. There we go. So, you can see it mines, it chops, and it shovels all in one. So that's pretty awesome. Lastly, there is the Splat Axe, which is actually just a very good axe, but then it also has the capability to instantly kill slimes. So, pretty awesome. Now, let's head on to the next room, which is right over here. And we've got some other miscellaneous blocks as well. So, first of all, we have garden soil. Garden soil is made with dirt, sand, and seeds, and that will give you 8. And what's so cool about garden soil is that it will grow plants even without light or water. So, kind of an interesting block there. Next, we've got these flat lamps. There are 3 versions. The first one is made using iron, glass, and glowstone dust. And then you can take that version, put it in a crafting table, and get the next one. And take that one, and put it in a crafting table, and get the next one. So you can just kind of rotate them through, and this one will also craft back into the white one. Now what's awesome about these is they're a great light source, and you can stick them on any surface. So on a wall, on a ceiling, on the floor, whatever. Really cool. I love the flat lamps. Next is the Aurora block, and this is used for crafting a bunch of different things. It is glass, and this can be any dye. It can be purple, it can be bone meal, it can be lapis, it can be whatever. Any sort of dye, and that will give you 8 Aurora blocks. We'll use those more later once we start getting into some of the cosmetic stuff, which is what we're going to get into right now. So the first one is Aegon. And this is crafted using 8 of those tiles and 1 Aurora block. That will give you 8. Now, what's so cool about these blocks is if you get one and you hold down Control and Alt and then just mouse through your scroll wheel, or scroll through your mouse wheel, I should say, you can rotate through all the various blocks of this type. And there are a total of 16 for each of these blocks that we're going to cover. So you can see them all here. Next, we have Bit. And Bit is made using Ztones tiles and a piece of wool. That will give you 8. You can see the textures here. Next, we have Cray. And that is hardened clay plus an Aurora block for 16. And you can see the textures. Next up, we have Fort. Fort is made using another block called Zeta. This is actually used for a lot of different crafting recipes within this mod, and an Aurora block that will give you 8 of them, and you can see the different textures there. Next we have Ism. Ism is made using another Zeta variant, and Aurora block that will give you 8. Once again, the textures. Next up we have Jelt. Jelt is made with Ztones tiles and then a gold ingot in the middle for 8 of them, and the textures. We also have Corp. Corp is tiles and 1 piece of obsidian for 8. And once again, as I said, guys, you can scroll through, hold down Alt and Control, and that will give you all of the various, it will give you access to all the various blocks within this particular name. So like Crip, for example, all of these. Crip is made using tiles and soul sand. Oh, I forgot to put a ceiling on that one. Anyway, Lair is the next one. Lair is Netherrack and Tiles. This is actually a really cool one. I really like some of these textures. This one especially, I can think of a lot of cool uses for that. Next we have Lave, and Lave is made using tiles and ice, and you can see all the textures. That's what the walls are made of, among other things. Mint is tiles and a slime ball, and that gives you these textures. Next we have Reds, and Reds are tiles and redstone, and there's all sorts of bright, colorful textures here. We also have Mist. Mist is mushroom blocks surrounding an Aurora block, which is a little bit interesting. So you'll need Silk Touch to get this, and that will give you 8 of these Mist blocks. Next up, we have Souls, and Souls is tiles surrounding blaze powder for access to these textures. There's Rowan, which is tiles surrounding sandstone, and that gives you these textures. Next we have Tank, and Tank is tiles surrounding an iron ingot for 8, and these textures right here. Vect is next on the list, and that's tiles surrounding a gas tier for 8 Vect. Some of these recipes are a little bit more end game, late game. They're a little bit expensive, some of them. Next we have Zek, and Zek is these Zeta tiles, another variant of those, surrounding Aurora blocks for 8 of these, and you can see the textures. Next we have Vena, and Vena is tiles surrounding an ender pearl for these kind of cyan textures that you see here. Next we've got Zion. Zion is another one of the Zeta variants surrounding Aurora blocks for these textures. Next we have Zome, and Zome is another Zeta block surrounding Aurora blocks for these textures. Next up, Zorg. Zorg is more Zeta blocks and an Aurora block, and you can see the textures here. Next up we have Zone. Zone is more Zeta blocks surrounding Aurora blocks, and you get these textures right here. Next, we have Tinted Glass. This one's a little bit different. You've got glass blocks surrounding an Aurora block, and that will give you access to these various stained glass right here. And I actually really like these. They're nice and clear, and they're not murky. There's no reflection or anything like that. Next, we have Reed. Reed is tiles surrounding sugarcane, and that will give you 8 reed blocks right here. After Reed, we have Zakul, or Skull, maybe. Has kind of a skull-like texture, and that is Zeta block surrounding an Aurora block as well. Next we have Sink. Sink is tiles surrounding an emerald, and you'll get all of these textures that you see. Next up, we have Azure, and this is tiles surrounding lapis, and you can see this is a very nice shade of blue with those. Next is Zeta. Zeta is crafted once again using Zeta blocks surrounding an Aurora block, and that gives you access to all of these. Next up, we have Zoea, however that's pronounced. And that is Zeta block surrounding an Aurora block yet again. Kind of looks like the eggs from Yoshi's Island, in my opinion. Maybe it's just me. Next we have Zest. And Zest is Zeta blocks surrounding an Aurora block for 8 of these. And coming towards the end, we have Zane. Zane gives you these textures, and is crafted using another Zeta block variant and Aurora blocks. We also have Zith, which is once again Zeta block surrounding an Aurora block. And you get these textures right here. And finally, we have the Zeta blocks themselves, which are crafted using tiles, a block of coal, and a block of iron for 32 of these blocks. Then, keep in mind, as I said, Control plus Alt. Hold that down and scroll through, and that will give you all the different variants that you need to wrap up and get all of those other cosmetic blocks that we covered. So, this is the end. Here's a list of all the various different blocks. Not all the variations of them, but guys, I mean, if we look at this mod, there are 3 pages, and my GUI is smaller than it would normally be. 3 pages of just tons of blocks, all sorts of cool stuff, some interesting tools and whatnot, all that kind of stuff as well. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up right here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below. If there is a mod that you'd like me to spotlight, definitely put that in the comments as well. Other than that, though, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time. Now, I can go ahead and make myself a Sojourner's Sash. And this is going to be an awesome thing to have, because if you go to your baubles and equip that in the belt slot,